Okay, we're back at the Defiwind 2025 and we've got more brand talk for you. What brand? Goya Quattro. Let's go and speak to Mr. Andy Bubble Chambers. He is rocking a kind of 80s porno moustache.
New look. I thought the French market would appreciate it.
They do, they loved it. We did a survey the other night, big hit. Let us know in the comments what you think of the porno moustache. Right, let's talk Goya sales. Let's go for the wave sales first, because last year I can remember going through the wave range. You had a lot of different models, a lot of different colorways. How many different ways have we got? There's a lot, wasn't there?
There was a lot, and we've actually, we thought there's not enough, so we added a couple more.
You've added a couple. Okay, but it's essentially, for guys who didn't see the video, maybe they're not up on Goya, just run us through the wave range as it stands at the moment.
Okay, so we have the Banzai Surf, the Banzai Max, and the Banzai 11. So all of the wave sails all come under the same name of Banzai. There's just different versions of them. Okay,
let's at least stand next to one of them here, because we've got, obviously they're all here, but this is the Banzai 11. As far as I'm aware, this is Brasinho's model.
Exactly, yeah. So this has always been like the main model of Banzai. So if you used the Banzai in the previous years, this is the one that's going to feel the most like that.
Okay.
All right. This particular one, Brasinho's one, is in the yellow carbon. So it's carbon all round. If I spin it around this way, you'll be able to see it a bit better. All right, so you can see all of the carbon strands that run through the whole sail, makes the sail really nice and reactive and really responsive. It also kind of gives it a light, kind of easy feel.
Okay.
From the Banzai 11, we then go to the Banzai Surf.
Okay, and this was influenced by?
We had the 3-batten fringe, and we had the Guru as well, which were both kind of real trademark wave sails with Goya. So what you're getting is like a softer, easier kind of feeling sail compared to the Banzai 11 in terms of power delivery.
Okay.
So the power delivery on the Banzai Surf is smoother, a bit easier. With the 11, it can be quite grunty, but people like that backhandy kind of grunt.
So Brasinho's like a power wave sailor. He likes a bit of power in his hands. Yeah. So I think the easiest way to do it is who is using the Surf, who is using the 11, because I remember speaking to you last year and you're like, Levi was kind of not sure. Then we had Kai Lenny is obviously on the team.
Yeah. So Kai Lenny uses the Surf.
Okay.
So it's a much more kind of down the line feeling, kind of surfy sail. Brasinho obviously is using the 11. Levi's using the Surf.
Okay.
A lot of the Maui guys are on the Surf.
Oh, that's good to know.
But then you've got Bujama. Bujama uses the Max.
Okay.
And the Max is the 5-batten.
So that's the proper power wave sail.
Yeah, it's the power. But it's got a lot of range, because it, in the top end when it gets really windy, the 5-battens really help keep everything nice and stable. Exactly. Yeah. So within those sails, we then have some different constructions where you have the carbon construction, full carbon. Then you have the normal pro construction, which is using the scrim materials. And then we have the 50-50 in between, which is the bright coloured iris one that we were talking about last year.
Yes.
And that one is half carbon at the top and then half scrim material at the bottom. And then there's the X-Ply version using the black.
I mean, there's a lot of different ones, and I already primed this one, so hopefully he's done his homework, because I was interested to go, out of all those sales, what has been the most bought sale? What's been the most, the one that everyone's been picking? Has there been one that stands out, or what are the numbers?
Definitely.
Really?
Which one what would you expect?
You would expect the Brasinho one because of Brasinho. That's what I would expect.
100%. Is that the yellow carbon is the most sold wave sail.
And that's the most expensive.
Yep.
You see, that is interesting. Like, I'm saying that when you ask me, I'm thinking, well, it seems obvious because your main man, the one who's killing it everywhere, is on that.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah, no, totally.
But, yeah, that's interesting.
What was surprising actually is the iris is actually a very good seller.
Really?
Yeah.
But it is. I'll tell you what is interesting about the iris, the multicoloured one. It is when I'm commentating, when I'm looking for people on the water. We had a guy on the clinic who had one. You see them straight away. It's like, oh, there they are.
Yeah. I think visually, they all look, I mean, on the water, especially here, this was the best thing about coming to when you're at the Defi, you know, you're seeing hundreds of people flying up and down. You can spot our sails so easily. You can just sort of pick them out and be like, oh, I don't know.
There it is. Okay, interesting. We've got something new now, because I have seen the advert online.
Yeah.
Looks quite exciting.
Yes.
Have you been on
exciting.
it? What is this? Tell me what it is. What it's meant to do.
This is the new Nitro 2. So the Goya Nitro 2, the new compact sort of style waveboard. So it's the one that Brasinho's done a lot of work on.
Okay.
The most amount of prototypes we've ever done, apparently.
Interesting. Do we know how many?
I don't know. I might have to think around. I'm pretty sure it's something crazy, like 30 prototypes or something.
Wow.
It's a lot.
But you say Nitro 2. Was there a Nitro 1?
There was a Nitro 1 before. Yeah.
So it's a total redesign.
It's a complete redesign. Yeah. More sizes as well. The Nitro, the first model, started at 89, and went 89, 98, 106. So they were pretty big, kind of. We're supposed to be, you know, more European, kind of rubbishy conditions, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But you know, now we've extended the range, so it goes from 79. So you've got 79, 85, 91.
Okay.
99, 109. So it goes pretty.
109. Okay.
109 as well. Interestingly, as well, on the three smaller ones, so 79, 85, and 91, they're quad setups.
Okay.
And then in the 99 and the 109, we go to a thruster setup.
Interesting. Have you got any in your quiver?
Yes, I've got a 79 and a 91.
What's your thinkings? Come on, give me your first thoughts.
Fast.
Fast.
Yeah. They are like rocket ships.
Because it's short as well.
It's
is
short.
Is it short?
Yeah,
it
they're really
looks
short.
I don't know.
It's 209.
Yeah, 209.
Yeah.
209. Okay, it is short. Because visually it looks short.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay.
So 209, but everything's at the back. You know, and there's loads of volume right in the middle here.
Yeah.
So when you get on it, it's kind of, you feel kind of, you sit a bit higher up and it's just instant kind of gets going and it's really fast. The main thing is the turning radius, obviously, because it's more compact and you're all at the back, you'll get more turns per wave than you would do on a, you know, if you're on a traditional waveboard and you're getting like 3 or 2
I did see
turns,
the video.
you'll get way more, like, and it's fast, it's loose, you know, throwing it around is really fun. It's definitely kind of still a high performance waveboard as opposed to like it doesn't sit between like a free wave and a, you know, it's not.
Okay, it is a waveboard.
It's a full waveboard, yeah.
I have to ask you, where are they measuring it from? Do we know? Are they measuring it from the back or from the...
No, I guess from the back. Yeah.
Because what I think some people don't realise is when you kind of chop a tail off, which this is kind of chopped off anyway, a normal tail could be back here.
Yeah.
So when you hear 209, you think, oh, it's super short, it's chopped off the front. But actually, a lot of that length comes from chopping off the back, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and having a little swallowtail, you know, it gives you still a longer rail length as well, so there is still rail to turn on, but then you're losing that kind of big area there, which can sometimes be a bit draggy, and you know. And
it's probably, I guess, it's almost like giving it tail kick as well, because you've got a shorter tail, so it's kind of like you kind of gain
it's really
a little
efficient.
bit of kick. It's interesting, I've got to say, I do like the look of it.
The other nice thing as well is the rail. So we talked a bit last year about the rails on the new waveboards.
Yes.
And the rail shape is actually he's done it the same in this one. You can see the rails are still really thin.
Yeah, but chunky
here. So where you're stood, you've still got loads of volume. But then as soon as you get onto the rail, you're onto that full wave rail.
Interesting.
So it turns really fast.
Yeah, that is interesting.
You know, Brasinho's been using it on what he considers not the best days at Hokeeper, where it still looks pretty.
I was about to say, I saw the video and I thought to myself, that looks pretty good.
But what's nice about that is, you know, that's probably for Europe is pretty mega conditions, and the boards were like, you know, he was absolutely rip. I mean, he's going to rip on everything.
Well, where's he going to be using this? Let's say if we're talking PWA,
Silt, Tenerife. Pozo, I'm assuming he'd be on something smaller probably and a bit more control, but definitely on the lighter days like Tenerife sometimes can be a bit light, a bit mushy. Silt definitely, you know, because he can use the big ones when it's windy. He's actually been using a prototype in Silt for the last sort of couple of years, I think.
Okay.
So
that's where you're saying these 30, you know, it is kind of boards which have kind of...
Yeah, exactly. And then we find that, we do that with all the waveboards. You know, it all starts on the prototypes that the guys are using in Maui, and it evolves then, you know,
Yeah.
a year or two down the line into the production ones.
Ah, looks good, man.
Yeah.
Looks good. Looks good.
Fast, really light as well, super balanced, so no swing weight. It's just a really, really fun board for throwing around, you know, UK South Coast.
I was going to say, is this going to take over as your main board now?
Yeah, for me it will do, yeah, definitely. You know, Ross Niger as well.
Yeah.
There's only going to be a few places like Gwithian, probably Tyree, where we get proper
More down the line.
ones, and then I'll use the traditional.
Okay.
The traditional.
We're going to
pods.
have a look inside as well.
Yeah.
So that's the Nitro 2.
Nitro 2.
Cypher. What's the Cypher?
Yeah,
is that new? Is that new? I never heard of the Cypher. But...
So the Cypher we had already for the last couple of years. It's the Cypher is a freestyle sail.
Okay. So
and
3-1 freestyle sail.
A 3-1 freestyle sail. Yeah, it's more so. In the gorge they use the freestyle sails for foiling.
I gotcha.
So yeah, it wouldn't be something necessarily that would be used a lot in Europe for freestyle.
No, it makes sense.
It's quite handy on the stand though because it's small, so it fits.
Yes, I get it.
But you would have seen now that we've got like Nico Agajan.
Yeah, I did
on
see
the
that.
team.
That's a new addition, isn't it?
Yeah. So and he'll be around later on this afternoon, hopefully.
Okay.
So he's been helping with the development a bit. Also Nick Hibdidge out in Maui.
Yeah.
You know, and it's really nice to have a freestyler over in
Home
Maui,
base.
where the hub of everything, you know, all the development is. And between us all, we've all been sort of contributing to it.
Nice.
We wanted something that was going to be smoother in the regular duck for the new school kind of freestyle moves.
Yeah.
So we've added this Dacron, the famous Dacron panel that all the freestyle sails have.
And that smooths it out a bit.
Yeah, it basically, I mean, you can see now, you know, there's no power in the sail, and the profile's all nice, pretty flat, but then as soon as the wind hits it,
Just bellies out.
bellies out.
Yeah.
So when you take the power out and duck it, the sail goes totally neutral. Whereas without that, the sail's always kind of got a bit of pre-shape to it, so in the duck it's not as stable. Still got some carbon on it on the other side, you'll be able to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, super light, goes a full range from sort of 3-1 all the way up to 5, 5-4, might even go to 6, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay. Moving on inside.
Inside we've got the Quattro wave line and the free wave line that we had last year. So the Pyramid, probably the most radical production waveboard on the market. The full, most rocker out of all the boards.
So if you're sailing somewhere down the line, somewhere pretty hardcore, Maui, well,
it needs,
you know.
I'll tell you what I've actually found. I've used it at Southbourne at home, which, you know, it's kind of European, a bit cross on, but if the wave is powerful enough, it's amazing. Yeah. If a wave, you need some power in the wave, basically. Whereas on something like the Cube, with the wider tail, you know, bigger outline, it kind of, you've got more to push on. So if the wave isn't pushing you, then you've got more tail to push on, basically. And then the power of the free wave as well. So nothing's changed.
Yeah, they're the same as last time.
And then with Goya, this is the 130 Volar. This is the club edition, so specific school edition.
What's it called?
The Volar Club.
Voila.
Volar. What's really nice about having some specific school boards now is that they come with the nose protector already on from the factory, so you're not going to get any flappy. People have tried to stick it on themselves, and it's super beefed up.
Okay.
And we have also a carbon version of this as well. So new graphics, new layup, but original shape.
Okay. So is this like the free move or free move?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it goes all the way from sort of 100 and 110 up to 130 and 145, 160. You know, it goes all the way up. So perfect for progressing, perfect in the schools in this edition, in this construction. And then with the carbon ones, it's just a very easy going, super easy to jibe. It can go pretty fast.
Yeah.
You know, it's that perfect kind of free rides.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, intro before you start going into free races. And
Exactly.
all this sort of stuff,
Yeah. If you want an easy time getting in foot straps and learning to jibe and stuff, then the Volar is the one. Voila. Then we do have a new one called a Carrera.
Okay.
Which unfortunately one of the magazines is taken away to test, but you'll be able to see them
Which
online. Blanche Mag.
Blanche Mag, there you go.
Yeah, Blanche Mag. Blanche Mag has taken it for testing. And so the new Carrera is basically a sporty version of our free wave, which is called the One. When we were testing some stuff last year in Maui, we found that the one was really nice just to go flat out fast. It was really controllable, really stable with the bottom. It just kind of cuts through all the chop.
Yeah.
And we thought, wouldn't it be really nice to have like a sporty version of this, you know, where you could put a bigger single fin in it, the straps were a bit more outboard. But still be really comfortable and smooth in the open ocean.
Okay.
So that's what the Carrera
So more a
is.
blasty kind of
Like
bump
full
and jumpy,
blasting, bit bump and jump. You can, you know, I was using it here the first sort of windy days.
Yeah.
You know, and on the flat water, you're not going to get the benefit from it as much as if you go out into the chop, then instantly it felt like flat water when you're out in the chop.
Longer than the one?
Yeah, it's longer, a little bit more length, a bit narrower, but the same idea on the bottom with the V up the front to, you know, to sort of split the chop and make it super comfy. And then we have the Bolt, which we had already last year. This is kind of the perfect board for Defi.
Yeah.
It was actually
a free race.
It's a free race, but it's very comfy free race.
Yeah.
And 3 years ago, when I first came to the Defi and it was super windy and we were using the bolts at the time, you know, over 40 Ks, it's hard on the legs.
Yes.
You know, and we thought, well, and we thought, well, you know, wouldn't it be great if you still had this free race kind of feel where the board's flying off the fin, but you had some more comfort, so you could sail for longer, you could go into jibes with more speed and more comfort.
Yeah.
So we lowered the back heel, we basically made the back of the board a bit thinner in the rails, so you're feeling less of the chop. But it still flies off the fin. It's got a V at the front again, so it helps in the chop.
Yeah.
And the nice thing as well is the tuttle box, so if you do want to get a bit extra out of it, you can put a good fin in it. You know, luckily we have Cyril, who can bring us some special fins for using at the Defi.
Fin. I mean, don't definitely underestimate what a fin can do to a board.
Yeah, exactly. So the Bolt, you know, we still have it in 99, 109, 119, 129, 139. You can foil on the big ones.
Okay, they've got
as well.
foil ready box.
Yeah, the two big ones have got foil ready box. As I said, we've got the free wave, and then we've got the two classic wave boards that we had before, the custom thruster and the custom quad. And they haven't had a change yet.
I was going to say, yeah, we covered them last year. If you
year.
haven't seen that video, I might link it at the end.
Yeah.
But I think they've gone down pretty well. Seen a few around.
Yeah, they've gone down really well. They're so for wave riding, for surfing, they're just amazing. Yeah, loads of speed.
What else you got? Oh, the famous fin.
The famous fin, the game-changing fin.
The famous fin. We put this on the thumbnail, I think, last year.
Yeah.
I've never seen so much interest because this was obviously a weighted product. Like there was a lot of people interested.
We have actually sold a lot of just fins on their own that people have been putting into their other boards.
Yeah, I can imagine. It was all to do with that video, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and so now we're starting to branch out into accessories, or we have branched out into accessories. So you can see along the back wall there, we've got a load of new harness lines, outpulls.
I didn't realise they were harness lines, honestly, because they look
packaging.
They look like surfboard leashes.
So in the shops, these are great because they take up way less space.
Yeah, okay. If you know what they are. Because I've been looking at them going,
pretty large, right?
Yeah, I know, it does actually say on the packaging. That looks cool.
What's really nice though is, you know, one of our best-selling products is the skinny wave booms.
Yes.
The super skinny ones, and no one really makes specific harness lines for them.
Yes.
You always end up with the Velcro kind of overlapping lows and they get all wobbly. So we have actually made a specific skinny boom harness line as well. So shorter Velcro, it doesn't swing about all over the place either.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
And we are branching out. These aren't the finished products, but we are doing some harnesses, some Goya specific harnesses. So they are a semi-hard shell. They're not like full. They're not full hard shell.
Okay.
But they're super light.
It is. It's hard as well. Yeah. Wow. Okay. That kind of reminds me of the Ride engine. Is it a little bit? I mean, I don't know. I'm not really into.
I think the Ride engine were more solid. This isn't carbon.
Okay.
And they're super lightweight. Yeah, they're very comfy. It doesn't feel like you're wearing anything.
Okay.
You know, Francisco's...
I've seen a few more of the harder ones coming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, in the past I had struggled with the harness ones because they don't bend in the right way.
You got a big bum like me.
I don't have.
I've got a big bum. It
But they don't bend with you. They don't move with you. Whereas this has enough flex in it that it still bends with you. so it doesn't really feel like you're wearing anything effectively, which is really nice. They don't absorb hardly any water at all.
A funky hook.
Yeah, it is a funky hook. This is a little bit of Francisco
It's like a little stubby.
inspiration. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, trying to make everything simpler, smaller, lighter. You don't need some mega hook. We've gone to a easy, quick release system as well.
Kind style.
Yeah, very similar.
Yeah.
We're going to do a sliding bar option as well.
There's a lot of people out there. Let me know in the comments, because there is a lot of slidey bar people.
There is, yes.
It's surprising. Like, I'm not a slidey bar person, but I do know a few.
There's the slidey bar option.
Yeah.
So we're doing
You a
both.
slidey bar?
I'm not a slidey bar.
No, okay.
No. But
No,
maybe
it's
I'll get
inter-
into it now.
Yeah, it is interesting. Like I say, I meet some people who swear by it.
Well, I think it's quite nice when you want to go upwind,
Yeah.
because you turn your body and the
Yeah, it goes.
bar
That's the bit
slides
I don't like.
rather than it pulling on you.
Yeah.
So yeah, both options will be available, and these are hopefully going to be with us in the autumn, maybe. But yeah, so that's what's coming. So
look good.
super excited about those. And then as we go past some of the foiling stuff,
We don't talk about this,
but
whatever this is, but there is something
there
here.
is something that we can talk about though. So
What's this?
with KT foiling, we're now
KT being Keith to Ball, just for
Being
people
Keith
who
to
don't
Ball,
know. Yeah.
we're now working on a windsurf fuselage as well. So you'll be able to carry, you can use all the same wings that we're using for
Okay.
all of the winging or proning or downwinding, but there'll be a windsurf specific fuselage, which is what Alex has been testing whilst we've been
Okay.
here. And yeah, it all fits. And
Because you've done a lot with the foiling on
Yeah.
that side of it in the
Yeah,
Maori
yeah.
stuff. Again, we don't cover much of it because it hasn't, approached it with windsurfing. But
Yeah.
now it sounds like you are.
yeah,
because
I mean,
they're
we're still
using.
going. There's still a lot of, when you talk to Alex, there's a lot of people still there's pockets of people still free ride foiling.
We've got them at home as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so it'd be nice to have something that people can use for that. If, they might do a bit of winging and a bit of
Yeah. Because they can keep
windsurf
the same
foiling.
wave sailing.
It's all,
or
yeah, you keep all
whatever,
the same
yeah.
stuff. You just would add a different fuselage, and then you can put it on your windsurf
Yeah.
foil board.
It makes a lot of sense. You can just grow the amount of days you're on the water.
Yeah.
And some people, a lot of people, let's say it, they've gone winging.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people who don't want to go winging.
Yeah.
They want to stay with the windsurf.
Also, they don't want to buy like a full race
Yeah.
setup either. This is very much easy free ride windsurf foiling, where you can go with a small sail, cruise around, do some carving stuff. It's gets you out in the water.
Yeah, 100%. All right, mate. Is that it? We got anything else? That's it. We're done.
That's it.
Always a pleasure.
Nice to see you.
Mr. Andy Bubble Chambers. We're going to have plenty more brand videos. The sun has just gone behind the clouds, which is good news because we've got plenty of more to film. So stay tuned to the channel, subscribe and all that good stuff.